Hello and welcome to another Stamp with Amy K YouTube Live, and I'm just out here getting everything set up to make sure that I can see you if you hop on and say hello, and just making sure that I can read your comments and things as well. So I appreciate it if you're joining live today. I appreciate it so much, and if you're watching the replay, that is just awesome as well. So anytime that it works out for you, I do appreciate you checking out the video. Let me know if you have any questions on anything as we go along, and otherwise I'm just going to go ahead and jump in and start talking about the card. Today we are making a birthday card, and sort of a fall birthday card, I feel like, with the sunflower on it and the wood grain background and the plaid. Sort of, like I said, it looked fall to me, so that's why I was kind of headed for a fall birthday. I've got quite a few in my family and in my friends. It's kind of amazing. September and October apparently are very popular months to be born. So, all right, so this is the card we got. Hey, Rosie, thanks for joining today. So this is the card we're going to be making today, and it uses the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set bundle, actually. So it uses the dies as well. So we've stamped the larger flower image and the smaller leaves on here, and then I use this sentiment on the inside of the card, but a different one on the outside. And then we have this awesome set of dies that coordinates with the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set, and these are sold in a bundle in the annual catalog from Stampin' Up, and so you get a discount of 10% if you purchase them together. So hey, Myrtle, hello, Karen, glad that you are here, and happy Friday to you too. So I did use the Stampin' die set together. I also used a couple of other things. I have got the Fancy Phrases stamp set, and that's what I used for the birthday wishes sentiment on here. And again, this is in the annual catalog. And then we've got the oh gosh, the name just flew right out of my head. Labels. I will have to post it because all of a sudden I'm like, I can't come up with the name of this die set, but it's the and somebody will probably post it on here, and I appreciate it if you do. I just all of a sudden I'm like, it's not ornate frames. It's something labels. It starts with an L, and it's not lovely. Like I said, if nobody can, Tasteful Labels. There we go. There we go. Thank you, Karen, for saving me. Phew. So, and thanks for joining, Mary. I appreciate you being here from Minnesota as well. So, and thank you to Karen K for coming in and saving the day. All right. So this is the Tasteful Labels dies, and I used, actually, this die is the one that I used to cut out the birthday sentiment, and I turned it kind of the wrong way from what it probably should be used, but I thought it worked well with the sketch that I was doing. So that is the card that we've got. Let me set a few of these things aside, and a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. The first one is I just posted this on my blog like 15 minutes ago. So if you haven't seen it yet, that's probably why. It just got posted, and it'll be out in your email boxes shortly. So this is a little fundraiser that I'm doing. I'm not sure how many of you are aware, but my home state is Iowa. I grew up there and lived there for 20-ish years. And my parents still live there. Most of my family is still in that area. Last week, they were hit with a horrible storm. Like, out of the blue, they had about 45 minutes to prepare for it. And it was essentially an inland hurricane that hit the state of Iowa and took out, my parents live on the northwest, in the northwest Iowa corner, and this actually kind of rolled across more the middle and the eastern side of the state, and they had a huge amount of damage there. I mean, trees through houses, and I mean, all sorts of craziness. Crops have been destroyed, like not quite half, but they're saying 43% of the soybean and corn crop for the state has been destroyed for the year, which is very, very bad. And it's a huge mess to clean up as well for all those farmers that are there. So I'm doing a little fundraiser after all of that. So a couple ways that you can help with that is I've set up on my blog, there is a direct link to donate to a group called the Iowa Giving Crew, and they are out there feet on the ground, helping out, helping to people to get their power turned back on, helping with food, helping with shelter, all that sort of thing. So they're out there on the front lines helping, and it's a Cedar Rapids, Iowa-based group. So you can donate directly to them if you would like to do that. They accept either Venmo or PayPal, or I've also got where if you order through my online store anytime between now and the end of August, I will donate 20% of your order total, your merchandise total, to the foundation as well. So So thank you very much. Oh, cool, Myrtle. I'm so glad that you placed an order. That's awesome. I haven't seen it yet because I'm out here on my video, but I will definitely take a look and send you a little thank you note. As a little bonus for that, I actually, anybody who either orders through my online store or places a donation of $25 or greater directly through the Iowa Giving Crew and sends me a little copy of your receipt or a screenshot or something, I'm going to be entering everybody in to win one of the new Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines. And I'll be giving that away on September 1st. So yay. All right, so that is all I have about that. And again, all the details are posted out on my blog. So go take a look at it. Let me know if you have questions. And again, I appreciate y'all listening to me and let me put that out there while you guys were all here. All right, one other thing I wanted to remind you about, bonus days. If you have bonus days coupons, make sure that you are using them before the end of August because those coupons will go away and no longer be valid. So make sure that you're getting your orders placed. Let me know if you have questions about how to use those. Okay, on with the card. So let's get moving on that. I started out with a soft suede card base, and I've got a piece of the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. This is one of the wood grain panels, which is definitely, you all know that I love wood grain. So, hey, Serene, I'm glad you're here, and Bree. And so thank you for joining today. I appreciate it. And joining from the Netherlands, that's awesome too. So, all right, going to use a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue, and I'm going to adhere the Designer Series paper to the card front. The designer paper is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it covers the entire front of the card. And the card base is cut to 4 1/4 by 11 and scored at 5 1/2. And again, just like always, you can make this into a book card if you want to one of the standard fold cards that folds in the middle, if you would prefer that. It's the same exact measurements, you just cut the card base a little bit differently. So you would cut that to 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and score it at 4 1/4 instead. All right, next up, I have got a little piece of the Plaid Tidings Designer Series paper, and that measures about 1 3/4 by 4 1/4, and then I have the 1 7/8 by 4 1/4 piece of crushed curry cardstock that I'm going to be adhering that to, and going to be using a little bit of Stampin' Seal to do that. And let me just get this on the back here. And I think technically that this piece of plaid paper on the other side is supposed to be Mango Melody, but to me it looked more yellow. I put Mango Melody under it and it was way the wrong color. So I thought for layering, I thought the crushed curry worked. So that's why I used that. Even though crushed curry technically, I don't think is one of the colors that's listed in that Designer Series paper pack. All right, gonna use a little bit of Stampin' Seal again to adhere this piece to the card front. I think my seal is getting a little bit low, so I've got my Seal Plus laying over here, so just in case I need to grab another adhesive. And again, I didn't really measure this very precisely. I just sort of put it down on the lower part of the card and made sure it was straight along the edges. That was the main thing I was going for with that one. Then I stamped ahead of time and colored a little bit so you didn't have to sit and watch me color this entire flower. Not that it takes a long time, but it gets a little boring watching me color over and over again. So I have stamped the flower from the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set in Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and I've got it stamped just on Whisper White cardstock. And the colors that I'm going to be using for the petals on it are light and dark, so saffron, and then I've got a little bit of the light Mango Melody that I will be adding in as well. And like I said, as you can see, I've colored in, I don't know, not quite 2/3 of it, but a little more than half of it I'd colored in beforehand. So the first thing that I do is I'm just going to layer on here the light So Saffron. And I'm going to color in a few of the petals. I'm not going to color all the way through it at this point, just because I want to make sure I'm still able to blend it. And then I'm going to come back in, and anywhere where there's a little bit of the darker lines, kind of shaded look, that Stampin' Up! Has put on the stamp and made it easy for me, I'm going to come back in with my dark So Saffron and just add a little bit of color in there. And then I'm going to come in with the light Mango Melody and just add a little touch of the orange sort of in the same areas. So it's just giving it a little bit of, highlights, lowlights, a little bit of orange as I go here. And then I'm going to come back in with my light So Saffron and just sort of really, I don't really color, like overly color it. I just sort of come back and do kind of little flicks with the color to sort of blend in and make sure there's no harsh lines on it that I'm not wanting. So it's a pretty easy coloring technique that I use. And I don't know if you can see because it is fairly light, but I'm going back in here with the light So Saffron to finish the last few petals here. I did go out of the lines a little bit on here, but it's definitely not a big deal because we are going to be coloring that center in soft suede, and so that's going to cover up any sort of goobers that I have there with my bad coloring skills. All right, so I'm coming back in again then with the dark So Saffron, and again just putting little touches of the dark color in anywhere where I see those lines are that Stampin' Up! Has nicely put in there for me. And then I'm coloring around also kind of at the base of the flower or base of the petals so that I make sure that there's no white showing in there as well. Hey, Roxanne, I'm glad that you're here, and Denise is here as well, so thanks so much for joining today. And then I'm going to come back in again. This is the light mango melody. I'm just adding a little bit of orange in. Again, it's just a very slight little bit of the orange in there that I thought it needed a little bit more color than just the two yellows. And then I'm going to come back and do kind of the little flicking of the light So Saffron to sort of blend the colors in a little bit together. And again, just going around here to make sure that I don't have any white showing right around the base of the flower petals. And then we're going to come back in with, you debated about the stamp set. Oh my gosh, Ginger, there's no debate at all. This one's definitely a must-get stamp set. So coming back in here with light and dark soft suede. And just going to do, this is the light that I'm putting down first. And just going to kind of do a little bit of circular motion. This you definitely don't need to be very neat about because all you're doing is really just getting color on the paper. Oh, yes. Oh, man, I can't believe you guys. Oh, this is one of my favorite stamp sets in the entire catalog. So it's definitely one of those that I think everybody needs to have. But of course, I think everybody needs to have most of the sets. But this one in particular is a very, very good one. It's got some good sentiments and things in with it as well, which is also something I always look for. I love the mixed font sentiments and just kind of good general sentiments that you can use for a lot of reasons, a lot of different types of cards. I like those as well. All right, so I just came back in with the light soft suede and just put a little bit of, kind of blended the colors a little bit together around the middle. Oh, yep, yeah, the first one that you purchased, yeah, Donna says it's a great set too. Yep, it's lots of fun, pretty, and it's easy to use. I mean, I'm not good at coloring, and it's super, super simple. So, because it's kind of all shaded for you, all you have to do is sort of put a little bit of color on it, and you're good to go. All right, last thing I'm going to do is I colored a couple of the leaves ahead of time. Again, just to save us a little bit of time here on the video, so you don't have to sit and watch me do this 3 times over, but I did stamp these. Again, they're stamped in Tuxedo Black Memento ink on Whisper White cardstock with the leaves from the Celebrate Sunflowers stamp set, and then I used the Sunflowers dies to go ahead and cut them out ahead of time, just again so that you didn't have to do the die cutting and things on screen. So I've got Old Olive blends, which I can't remember whether I told you what this color was or not, but it's got light and dark Old Olive Stampin' blends. And just coming back in and doing a little bit of kind of that same kind of flicking of the color to blend it in a little bit. And the first set you bought too, Mary? Yes, it's a good one. Like I said, there was no question for me on this one. I was like, yep, sold. So, all right. So we're back to the card base. I have got my sunflower done here, and we are going to use a couple Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm going to sort of put them towards the center of the sunflower because, I don't need them all the way out to the edges, but also I'm going to be tucking the leaves in and the sentiment underneath it, and it makes it a little bit easier to do that if you've got your adhesive more towards the center of your flower. So let me turn this, I think that's about where I've got it. Okay. And then we're going to use a couple of glue dots to adhere some of the leaves on. And again, we're just going to tuck the leaves right up under the flower and adhere with glue dots. Glue dots are one of my favorite adhesives for doing this type of adhering. Oh, you know what? I better hold on to that one until I stamp the sentiment, because I just realized I need to put the sentiment in there before I put that final leaf in. I may have to pull this one out. And that's why they're one of my favorite adhesives, because unless you really smash them down, you can still pull them back up. So let me get the sentiment stamp first before that's what happens when I get talking and I forget what I'm doing. So, all right, so I have got a piece of Whisper White cardstock that I have pre-cut with the Tasteful Labels die. Again, thank you, Karen, for giving that to me. So soft suede ink, and the sentiment is from the Fancy Phrases stamp set. And I'm going to put this on here and hope that I get it stamped straight, which is always a little challenging when I've pre-cut something. Normally I stamp first and then cut, but again, trying to save a little time on the video today, I did the die cutting first and stamping second, which I think I got it fairly straight. And if I put it on the card and realize it's totally not straight, then I can always fix it. That's easy enough to pull out or to layer another one over the top. So let me tuck the sentiment up here above the flower and adhere that down with a little bit of Stampin' Seal. Now I'm going to put my leaves in so that I know where my sentiment lands, and I don't have to worry about it accidentally covering anything up. And there's my second leaf with the glue dot, and I'm going to tuck that one in here just a little bit higher up. Last thing for the card front is I got a couple of rhinestones here. And I'm just going to adhere a few of those around the flower. Yeah, I'm definitely not a very good color ginger, so yeah, you don't have to be, definitely with this stamp set. It's super easy to use, so don't even worry about it. Definitely get it and just play with it. Like I said, flowers are very forgiving in general, and this one is in particular just because the shading is mostly done for you, so it's really easy. So, all right, so that is it for the card front. So again, super simple. And the inside of the card is all that we've got left. I did a little bit of stamping with soft suede ink, and this is the sentiment from the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set. Let me see if I can, again, get this stamped on here straight, which is always a little challenging when I've got the camera in front of me, and I think it's fairly straight. And then added in the sunflower, the little sunflower image from the Celebrate Sunflower stamp set in So Saffron ink for that one. You think I'm a perfect color? You make me laugh, Karen. I just, like I said, I play around with it and I color to where it looks good to me, and I figure that's good enough because, I'm the one who has to give the card away, and as long as I'm okay with the way it's colored, then I call it good. All right, last thing that I did was I added a little piece of the In Good Taste Designer Series paper at the very bottom of the Whisper White cardstock panel. And if I forgot to say it earlier, this is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. So it should fit perfectly inside my card base. And let me trim off the excess here of the designer paper. All right, and then we're going to put it here on the inside of the card. Again, just using Stampin' Seal to adhere it. Oop, got a little gloober there. All right. And I will put the cap back on it before I end up like my last video and have the cap stuck to the back of something that it shouldn't be stuck to. So, all right, gonna adhere this to the inside of the card base. And that's all there is to it. So gonna do a little crease here across the top with my bone folder. And that's it for my card share today. So hopefully you'll like it. And definitely you guys need to get this bundle if you don't have it already. Again, it's the Celebrate Sunflowers bundle from Stampin' Up. Be sure to stop by my blog tomorrow. I will be posting all the details, posting all the measurements and all that sort of thing for this card. And I will also link them back on this video tomorrow as soon as my blog post is live. Let me know if you have any questions on anything. I am planning to be live next week, Tuesday, around 2 o'clock Eastern Time on my Facebook page, which is Stamp with Amy K. So you can search for me out on Facebook. And I will plan to be live back here again on YouTube Live on Friday around 2 o'clock Eastern Time. And if you haven't subscribed to my blog, feel free to do that. It's stampwithamyk.com. And if you subscribe, then you'll be kept up to date on all the latest Stampin' Up, as well as check out all my projects. So thanks again for joining today. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday and have a great weekend.